What's going on, guys? Back here in the shop, I'm going to tell you 5 of my favorite safety items. Let's get into it. Item number 1, dust mask. Now, the most basic dust mask, which is this kind of mask, excuse my crazy hair, it's quarantine. This mask is very basic. It doesn't really do too much. There's a lot of holes. I mean, you have a little bit of a nose adjustment, so it doesn't really fog up your glasses. It's like a coffee filter, right? It is enough for wood, right? Now, it might not protect you from the coronavirus, but it would protect you from wood particles, and they are pretty easy. These guys are about 5 hours of continued use, and they're about done. If you want to step up your game a little bit, these are RZ masks. They are my current favorites, so I use on every job. Whenever I sand or do anything, they use active carbon filters, right? This is just a 3-ply single filter, but they go all the way up to 4. Now, we all heard, or hopefully all heard, N95 is the standard for masks. In fact, for most construction, N95 means it blocks out 95% of particles. These guys are N99.97. They have their own lab that they test, which is a little bit weird, but I have not had a problem with these. I've done some very fine woodworking, and these guys have done a fantastic job. They also kind of make you look like Bane. Right, so it just goes around like this, attaches, you got your little nose piece you get to adjust, and you're good to go. Right, you got your mask in, you got the filter, and then these things right here allow air to go out, but not air to go in. There's a little rubber kind of gasket in there that prevents it from going in. Very nice mask. This is their first neoprene one. That's kind of the first mask I bought from them. This is their most kind of recent one, which is made of this mesh material, which is far easier to breathe out of, far easier to talk out of, and just a more comfortable mask overall. So I recommend them completely. All right, next one. When talking about these masks, keep in mind, they do not replace respirators. This respirator is made mainly for paint, asbestos, working with rough, tough chemicals. This does not replace it. It gets close, but it does not replace this. Even if you read RZ's disclaimers, they will tell you it does not replace a respirator. Next one we got are gloves. Now understand, gloves are kind of dangerous when you're working with machines, especially machines that are designed to grab and pull and cut. So I don't recommend using gloves to work with saws or any sort of machinery, even grinding wheels, polishing wheels, that sort of thing. But for moving wood, for doing construction work, a good pair of gloves is key. Now these are Milwaukee leather gloves. I cannot find these gloves anywhere. I bought them just on a whim. I thought they looked nice. I like leather gloves. Milwaukee typically sells these pro gloves, which are kind of like a mesh material. They are a little bit more, I don't know, I wouldn't say sturdy, but they're more plasticky. They stretch. They're a little bit more breathable than the leather gloves, but the problem is I really don't feel like I get too much of a good grip on these guys. I keep both of them in just in case, but my leather gloves kind of do the job perfect. My hands are less sweaty in them. These guys are a good second choice, so I always keep 2 of these pairs, especially when I was building that deck. These guys were tremendously helpful in moving those pieces of wood and moving those old pieces of wood, make sure I don't get any nails in my hand. All right, let's talk about the next one. Number 3, knee pads. Now I know what you're thinking. Gee, knee pads? Really? Of all the things, you are talking about knee pads. Absolutely. I was just like you guys, those of you out there that are saying, why are we talking about knee pads? I thought, I don't need knee pads at all. When I built the deck video, if you ever go back to the deck video and watch, I use knee pads sporadically, but I still use them depending on what I'm doing. The first time I built the deck, I did not use any knee pads, and my knees were killing me for the next week. These are just basic Husky knee pads. They're nothing crazy. They're gel. They have these little bumps inside there that make it so your knee doesn't get as fatigued as quickly. Now I do have some other pair of knee pads that I've worn for a little bit from Harbor Freight. I'm gonna do a whole separate video on Harbor Freight and cheap versus expensive, or cheap versus affordable. Harbor Freight has a lot of good tools. They are affordable, but they're also cheap. Husky, in my personal opinion, it's a store brand. It's not a name brand. Their tools are more affordable, but they're more quality and they are cheap. Not to say you can't buy good quality tools at Harbor Freight. It's just with safety tools, first-hand experience, I would get from a big box or even a smaller hardware store that sells these specialty items. Your health is important and it's worth all your money. That's why I'm doing this video. Okay, let's go to the next one. Number 4, hearing protection. OSHA has specific standards on hearing, and it's a good thing to keep in mind if you like being able to hear, to take care of that hearing protection. So just basic earplugs such as this do a perfectly good job at blocking out that sound and blocking out the sound from the shop. So everything becomes a little bit more dimmer, but you can still hear things. Good earplugs will allow you to still hear things, but block out a good range of sound. Now, these are my kind of go-to. I don't really use too much of the plug-based earplugs. They do kind of wear my ear out a little bit, and I do like to listen to music a lot. So I'll typically wear these Howard Light by Honeywell glasses. These are for shooting, but they work just as fine. They go over quick, easy. And they're very, very light, very breathable. I can actually put earbuds in if I want to listen to music. And it blocks out all the sounds. You may hear a humming, that's from the lights. Can't hear that humming. But I can hear the echo from my voice that's echoing in this room, right? I can hear machines and I can hear if something is on. That's the point. You want to be able to hear certain things, but just not as loudly as the real life sound. Cool? Either one honestly is fine. I do just prefer these guys myself. Okay, let's go on. Can I do an honorable mention? BioFreeze is my honorable mention. You may have heard of products like Icy Hot. You may have even heard of BioFreeze. I think they sponsor the Trailblazers in Oregon. So these guys are pretty incredible. They basically use methanol to create like a cooling effect. Now, after I sanded that sign earlier, I don't know if you guys watched that video, you should though, my wrist was killing me. So what I do is I put a little bit of BioFreeze on my wrist, and it kind of relieves that pain a little bit. It's like a little gel that kind of goes on there. And that's it. In about a couple minutes, the pain will kind of subside. I'm able to move my wrist again. It kind of relieves that pain a little bit. The best though is for your back. We all heard that we should not lift with our backs. Now it's easier said than done. We should definitely lift with your legs. Hopefully if you guys are in my class right now, or if you're just watching, you'll learn to lift with your legs. However, there are some times when you just forget, or you're just quickly hurrying and you lift with your back, right? While I'm working on that deck, I'm constantly bending over, putting in screws, trying to lay board. So a lot of the work is on my lower back. This was a lifesaver for me. This stuff is seriously amazing. It saved my life. A time or two deserves an honorable mention. I like it better than Icy Hot. I just don't like the heat. This, worth it. Last but not least, number 5, should really be number 1. Best safety item, must have, safety glasses. I wear prescription seeing glasses. They are not rated to take as much wear and tear or impacts as these glasses. These are Milwaukee again. They are ANSI Z87 certified, which means they are rated to a certain impact level that is put together by ANSI, which is a group that rates different sort of safety things. They have decibel levels. They also have ratings for safety glasses. My personal favorite are these Milwaukee ones, which no longer you can find anymore. They have these weird ones that have like a border along the back or the bottom of it. And honestly, these are the best ones. I like them better than the ones with the border. They are fog free or anti-fog, so they don't fog up. And that's probably my big problem with safety glasses. When I was working out on the golf course or even the shop, I refused to wear safety glasses. They were uncomfortable, they fogged up, until I found these guys. Actually, until I got hit by a rock in the eye, that's when I changed my mind. But till then, these are the best ones you can get in my personal opinion. In fact, the best ones you can get are just Z87 certified. Everything else is just a bonus. All right, hope you enjoyed my top 5. If you guys have a different safety device that you like, drop it in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next video.